Hello, my name is Ben Lovegrove, and in this video I'm going to follow on from a video I made in April 2019 entitled Is Disclosure Happening? When we look back at 2019, it will be obvious that it was a year in which many things changed with the release of an unprecedented amount of information. So much information, in fact, that it's going to take a long time to process it all. We've had the Bob Lazar film and the subsequent interviews, the open discussions of the 2004 Nimitz Encounters and the tic-tac UFOs, AATIP, and the Admiral Wilson leak, to name a few. Whistleblowers are revealing their secrets, and others who have worked in the shadows are stepping forward into the light. Meanwhile, the mainstream media, which for so long has ridiculed anyone associated with the subject of UFOs and UFO sightings, not to mention aliens and alien races, is having to readjust its attitude. It's one thing to make fun of ordinary citizens who have witnessed extraordinary aerial phenomena and barely managed to capture some blurry footage of lights in the sky. But it's quite another to poke fun at the testimonies of experienced fighter pilots whose accounts are later corroborated by the release of infrared films of the objects, as well as the other accounts of experienced and skilled crew members. Of course, to those who have been following these reports for years, the expert eyewitness testimonies from experienced aviators and others with similar skills is nothing new. The ongoing effects of Dr. Stephen Greer's disclosure project are a reminder of what people have seen and at what events they were present. It's as if the subject of UFOs has had a sudden boost in viewing figures. Suddenly, many more people are aware of the subject and want to talk about it. Skeptics and cynics, even if they're reluctant to confront the evidence that now exists, will probably cling to the idea that the tic-tac UFOs are made on Earth, because the alternative explanation would force them to drop long-held convictions. This is only natural. Changing your mind about something isn't always easy. Entrenched beliefs are hard to release, but things can change quickly and easily. Having said that, it's only right and proper that extraordinary claims are put under scrutiny, and we should also be prepared to accept that there may be a mundane explanation for a UFO event, no matter how tempting it may be to believe otherwise. Many people alive today who have followed the subject of UFOs all their adult lives can also remember the Cold War, and what life in Europe and the then Soviet Union was like prior to 1989. Then, in 1 year, the wall was breached and the Iron Curtain came down. The Cold War ended and the Soviet Union broke up, returning independence to sovereign states. This massive change happened very quickly, and it was partly the result of a change in attitude in the collective consciousness of the populations that had until then lived in fear of nuclear war. Today, a new generation has grown up, and for various reasons, today's youth are much more open to the idea that we are not alone in the universe. Advancements in technology and the power of orbital telescopes have proved that exoplanets are a reality, not just a theory. If the Kepler Space Telescope can find a few thousand exoplanets in its short life while observing a small patch of sky, then extrapolating that out would suggest there are many more than we could count. If planets capable of generating life have existed for longer than Earth, then it's a short step to the idea that civilizations on those planets may have grown and developed long before the human race mastered the basics. And if they had had a head start on us of 1,000, 10,000 or 100,000 years, what technological marvels could they have developed in that time? What mysteries in terms of space, time and gravity could they have unlocked? Look back a mere 150 years here on Earth. We've come from steam power to space flight, from pen and ink to nanocomputers and robotic factories. If this pace of change continues, then in another 50 or 100 years, the current year will look as archaic as 1960s Bakelite telephones do now. Today's generation have grown used to the idea of activism as a means of bringing about change. The idea to storm Area 51 may have started as a joke, but it spread quickly, demonstrating once again the power of social media. But the secret keepers will fight tooth and nail to maintain the status quo. Witness testimonies, whistleblowers, deliberate leaks of information, and the discoveries made by individual or groups of researchers and investigators have produced a lot of information for us to process. But we're not quite yet at critical mass. The wall of secrecy is looking weak and cracks are appearing, but it hasn't yet been brought down. Maybe you'll live long enough to see it disappear forever, and just like the Berlin Wall, it will pass into history as a reminder of darker, less enlightened times. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a like and a share and post a comment below with your feedback and thoughts. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on this subject.